Welcome back to the TMBC Wake YouTube channel. If you haven't entered the surfboard giveaway yet, make sure to get over that video and get yourself entered. I'll put a link right above me, I'll put a link in the description below, and I'll put a link at the end of this video. Alright, so our trip for the weekend of June 7th was not great. Basically it was cold and rainy and windy all weekend. I did a little time lapse on Saturday of the crappy weather and the rain showers coming through. It didn't turn out as great as I'd like, but you can kind of tell that it just wasn't great for boating for most of the weekend. I did get a chance to get out on the water. It was nice and sunny and calm on Sunday. It wasn't quite calm enough for me to wakeboard, so I just surfed that day. But for my little bit of surfing that I got to do, I was pretty happy because I was able to do several different grabs with surf airs. So I'm definitely starting to get more air on my strapped Hi-Fi Party Shark, which means I still think it's very worth it. So in this video, I'm going to express to you my full review on the 2019 Hyperlight Hi-Fi Party Shark and basically straps on a surfboard in general. Before I get into my review, I'm going to go ahead and share some footage with you from Sunday, June 9th of me surfing and getting some surf air grabs. So you can probably tell I'm having a lot of fun on that board. I haven't really been on it a crazy amount yet this year, and I'm already starting to air out quite a bit compared to how much I was airing out in previous years. And it's definitely the first time I've been able to actually grab the board. Even though it's not for very long, I am fully grabbing the board in many of those shots. So now to give you my full review of the 2019 Hyperlight Hi-Fi Party Shark. First of all, I want to say I think that the straps were a fantastic idea for a surfboard, and I don't think it was a crazy original idea because, you know, wakeboarding started out very similar on what was called a scurfer and had very basic foot straps, very similar to what the straps are on this Hi-Fi are. But now that surfing behind a boat has been a popular sport for some time, I think the straps on the surfboard really make sense because it seems like a cheat, but when you think about it in the end, if it helps you to have more fun in the water, who really cares? I mean, if you're competing, obviously there might be rules about what's allowed and what's not, but how many of us out there are competing when it comes to surfing behind a boat? I would say most of us are not. Most of us are just trying to have fun. So I think the straps are a great idea, and for me, they've definitely elevated my fun on a surfboard. That being said, I want to point out some pros and cons of the Hi-Fi Party Shark with straps. The first thing I want to point out is the straps have a few different configurations per foot, but it doesn't give you a wide range of fits. And basically what I'm trying to get at is I wear an 11.5 size shoe and the straps barely fit my feet. And I think they'll loosen up over time, but what that means is that you probably need to have somewhere in the range of a men's size 9 to a men's size 11 foot for the straps to work great for you, which doesn't make it very versatile. I think about the young people that will want to try this board out, especially because of the fact that I think one of the pros of this board is that the board would be very helpful for those people who are starting out wake surfing. Because one of the hard parts initially is making sure your foot placement is correct and making sure that you push the board down the correct way as you're getting up. And with your feet strapped in, that's going to make it a lot easier to do that. But if the straps don't fit your feet appropriately, it may help a little, but it might not be ideal. One main pro to the straps on the surfboard is obviously the fact that it's going to help you do airs. If you think about doing an ollie on a skateboard, you're pushing down with your back foot and then you're sliding your front foot up and pushing the nose out. So it's kind of this motion, it's kind of down and slide and it picks the board up to here, right? So without straps, that's basically this. It's basically somewhat what you have to do as you reach the top of the wave. Whereas with straps, it lets you cheat a little bit. So in other words, I don't have to do, this and this to get up to here. With a strap board, my feet stay in place, and basically I get to the top and I'm just lifting my feet up. Okay, so I am getting the board to ride up the wave, and then at the very top I'm kind of kicking down here, but then I'm just lifting my feet up. So basically, that is one of the biggest features to me about the strapped wakeboard, is that that ollieing motion is much more difficult to conquer to me than it is to just pick your feet up. Because it's natural just to pick your feet up, because that's how you would jump on flat ground with no board. Another big pro for the strapped wake surfboard is that it helps keep your feet connected to the board so that you keep your board in the correct position with your body. And what I mean by that is, if you think about trying surface 360s on a surfboard, one of the hard parts is making sure that you stay level all the way around, and that you don't go too much, lean too much towards your toes or lean too much towards your heels, otherwise you're going to slide out. With the straps, it does a really good job of holding your body in position with the board really well so that you don't have that problem. I can tell you from experience from riding this board and my previous board that doing 360s, the actual rotation is way easier. So if you're trying to learn 360s, a strapped wake surfboard is likely going to help you complete that trick. One of the cons to this board is there are certain tricks where it does not help to have the straps on the board. In fact, it works against you a bit. One of the tricks I like to do is where I sit down on the board and ride it sitting down. There's a few other things like I think they call it the fire hydrant, where you put one of your hands down and lift up one of your legs, and having the straps on the board make those tricks more difficult. Obviously, this board has the ability to remove the straps. It's just a little bit more of a pain because typically I want to do those things in the middle of a set. I don't think before I get out on the water, hey, I want to do these tricks today, or I want to do those tricks today, that's what I'm going to set it up for. I want to be able to do kind of whatever I feel at the time. So that's one con. Another con to this board with the straps, it's pretty common as I've been riding this board that my feet will slightly slide out of place a little bit, and I'm having to adjust my feet in the straps quite a bit. Now, for me, it's not that big of a deal, but for somebody who's new at riding a surfboard, they're not likely going to be able to do that. So in other words, if their feet get shifted a little bit, it's probably going to make it to where they have to fall down or wreck before they can resituate their feet. And you really need to make sure that as you put your feet in these straps, the bottom of your foot is across the middle of the board. With my size of foot, I really have to kind of shove them in there to get them to that point. Otherwise, I'm too much on my heel side. So a little bit of a con that you kind of have to keep readjusting your feet, and that would be a little bit hard for a beginner probably. Those are pretty much the main pros and cons that I've experienced with this board. I'm sure that there would be some that say, hey, the Hyperlight Hi-Fi is slow, or hey, I don't like how the Hyperlight Hi-Fi works. Well, that is a preference of board. They do make the Hyperlight Party Shark quad, so it's more of a surf style. There are other boards out there that have straps on them from different companies. Liquid Force makes one. I think Phase 5 makes a couple. So you have other options if you want a different style of boards. I can tell you I personally enjoy the Hi-Fi. I like a true skim style. It helps you to do spins. It helps you to do shove-its if you're working on shove-its. But yes, I would agree it's definitely not the fastest board out there. If all you care about is airs and big top turns, big bottom turns, things like that, then you definitely want a surf style board. There are definitely some things that I want to try this season to see how this strap surfboard is working in certain situations. For example, I want to see if, now that I'm getting more air on my strapped wake surfboard, what would it be like without straps? Did it help improve my airs without straps, or did it make them worse? You know, I want to see how that goes. And then also, I'm definitely going to be working on some Air 360s, and I also want to try a flip on my surfboard at some point this year. So I'll definitely share those things with you in future videos. So that's it for this week's video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please leave comments if you have something to say about it. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you can be notified of my future videos. I'll see you next week.